Ready to go, brother?
Yes.
Yeah, here we are, everybody. Welcome back to BRV Shorts in the van with a story from the interwebs. That's hopefully going to make you laugh, make you think, something like that, right?
It's going to make you think, and it's going to shock you, and then might make you look a little harder at things.
Hopefully a little harder. That's what they say. This is Wade. That's Hayden. How you doing, brother?
Great, man. Had a nice work trip.
We went to Nashville.
To Nash Vegas.
I'm telling you, the more time I spend in Nashville, the more I love it.
Home of the Predators.
Love that city, man.
Dude, yeah, it was great.
We got to spend time downtown. It was more, I think, where they call the West End, Vanderbilt area.
We were right there
if
at
I'm
Bridgestone.
If I'm not wrong. Or at least that's where our hotel was.
Yeah.
Yeah, around the Vanderbilt area. And really nice down there.
It was.
Yeah, a lot of places really close to each other.
One thing I had to have explained to me, though, because I'm a podunk hick from East Tennessee, but the bird scooters.
Yeah.
Bird scooters. I did not realize the plight of bird scooters until I went to a big city that had them. And then I was like, these things are everywhere. Everywhere.
Because it's not just Bird, there's Lime.
Oh, there's the other one, yeah. But, I mean, like, because that's what I had to ask you. I had to be like, dude, why are these scooters just everywhere?
I have a friend that does like a side hustle where he drives around in a truck and picks them up and takes them back to charging stations.
Crazy.
Because they all have the locators on them where you can pick them up.
Yeah, and I saw these bird scooters because of, as you know, on our way to try and get to the hotel.
I accompanied you. Yeah, so our lead-in talk's going to be about the ridiculous nature of the placement of businesses that have the same name within a mile of each other.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't care how populated the downtown area is. You do not need two Hilton Garden Inns within 1 mile of each other.
Literally, there are two in downtown Nashville, like two Hilton Garden Inns a mile from each other.
A block and a half from each other.
Hiltons.
Yes. So not only that, so we're trying to meet up to go to this show, which is ultimately the point of what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
A wrist licking incident that we have to discuss, if I will. So the two hotels, we had to go to a Hilton Garden Inn. We had to swipe a credit card. We had to pay for somebody's room because that's how we roll, right?
Right.
Like we pay for other people's hotel rooms.
Of course.
Because that's what we do. So anyway, we had to stop there. We're sorry, it's the wrong Hilton Garden Inn. It's a block away. Okay, no problem. We're running late for the show. We got to go. So we hit the other one.
Like, how does this happen? How is there not two search results when you type it in on Google?
But I'm willing to forget that, right?
Of course.
It happens, right? So then we go to a bar named the Tin Roof. So little did we know.
Which chain? There's one in Knoxville. People know the Tin Roof.
Yeah.
They're all over the place.
There's two of them in Nashville, a block from each other.
Slightly more than a block, but I mean like less than a mile.
We happened to go to the wrong one of those as well. So we picked the wrong one of both of the places we needed to go.
Yeah, we walk into the first one and we get texts from the group and they're like, hey, we're right inside to the left. And we come in and there's not a soul to the left anywhere.
Yep.
And no one, like, there's like 12 people in the entire building. We're like, the wall says the Tin Roof.
Yep.
And we're in it.
So I went to the bouncer and I'm like, is there another one of these somewhere? And he just starts dying laughing. So anyway, we leave. The show we were supposed to see was a friend that's a guitar player in a band.
Mm-hmm.
And they were supposed to go on at 10:30. And it's like 10:35 when I'm having the conversation with the bouncer about us being in the wrong place. So, in Nashville, it's not just that easy. You got to find some place to park, or you got to go in a garage and run down. So, anyway, we end up walking into the bar around 10:45, 10:50, something like that, in the rain. Get there, and they still hadn't gone on yet. So we were lucky that everything was
I think we had
late.
just enough time to get drinks, and then he started playing.
Yeah. So we walk up.
Good timing.
Yeah. So Josh is our friend. He's the one that plays the guitar, and he plays with a gentleman who's a musician out of Buffalo, New York. His name is Eric Van Houten. So he plays with Eric in his band.
Oh, yeah. They rocked pretty hard, man.
It was awesome. And Eric has what I've been told by some of my friends who roll in some circles, a very delicious haircut.
Delicious.
So
he's good looking. You know, he had the slick back look.
He's striking. He's a good looking man.
I could see why the ladies would like him.
He's a good looking man. So we had a friend who was not a lady that liked him as well. Friend of ours, and it was kind of funny how all he wanted to do was talk to him.
Right.
And I had been to see Josh and Eric play before, and Eric being from Buffalo, New York, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. I took that as my chance to kind of chat with him. His name's Van Houten. My name's Van Hookie. So it was kind of like
connect on everything.
We had a couple connections, right? So we talked about that. And when he saw me at the second show, he remembered me.
Right.
And anyway, I knew that I could use that to get him to come over and talk with our friend, who will remain nameless for the purposes of our podcast
right.
and publications on the interwebs. He comes over to talk to us, but he kind of sneaks up on our friend. Grabs our friend, who is standing much like this, and to the viewers on YouTube, you can see what I'm doing. Listeners on the podcast, you need to go to the YouTube channel and watch what I'm talking about. So he's standing with both of his arms out, drink in hand, and Eric comes up from behind him and grabs him and shakes him.
He just shakes him.
His drink spills, you know, all over him, and he has no idea who just did that to him, and he gets a little bit
He's like, son of a bitch.
And then Eric happens to come around and lick the bourbon off of his wrist, and it went from total frustration and anger to total elation and like pure paradise.
Oh yeah.
I can't even duplicate the sound that he made when he noticed that it was Eric that was licking his wrist, but it was something along the lines of and it was hilarious.
It was a good evening.
Made my night and made his night. And yeah, Eric had no idea. He was none for the wiser.
He just carried on with his night. But yeah, dude, they rocked
like a rock star does.
Yeah, I mean, it was like your mix of like,
dude, rock stars lick people's wrists. Are you kidding me? Like that's what they do.
Yeah, it was like your fair mix of Nashville rock. You know, like country rock.
He had a little bit of that with it, but they've got a couple of songs that were nice. Different type of melody where it definitely wasn't country. You know what I mean?
The guy you guys knew though, playing guitar though, he could shred.
He could shred, couldn't he?
He was. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's like that. Okay, yeah. I get it.
Yeah, so you need to see him. Anyway, it was really good. They've played at a couple of spots in Nashville. They do their thing, and that's what I love about Nashville is being able to go to so many different places. And seeing somebody, no cover charge to get in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you just pay in the drinks and then do what you got to do.
And even the drinks were like $3, like, good beers.
Yeah, no roofies either.
No roofies either.
So it was so much fun. I love going to Nashville. It's a good time. So plus my kids don't come with me, you know, so it's like I actually get to go. Wish the wife could come, but it's just, you know, one of those things. So anyway, we there's a purpose that you and I gather.
Yes, sir.
And the cool thing about Nashville is how much things cost. You know, I say cool with not really any love behind that.
I feel your segue-ness raining down upon me.
I went to a restaurant where there was a $100 steak. So not every day that you're... Whew. So that's some people might be listening and saying, Psh, I've seen a $300 steak. Did you eat the $300 steak? So anyway, there's some coin in that area. There's a lot of coin that you got to spend in that area.
That segue just hit me so good. Speaking of coins.
Oh, man. I just kind of put that one up on a tee for you.
It was like, ping. Like, I mean, we're talking hole in one on the par 4 over here.
Don't tell me you have a story about coins.
So I have a question to start this conversation off with. Okay. Do you ever pick up the penny that you see on the ground?
Not if it's heads up.
Oh, so it's like that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah.
So after the story I'm going to tell today, you might want to start looking at every penny you get.
Just
a little bit harder.
I'm not looking at panties. I'm sorry.
We don't edit the live ones.
No, we don't.
But so second question, do you recall what was going on back in 1943?
World War II.
You would be correct in saying that.
Yeah.
So people had to make sacrifices of certain things in daily life.
Yeah, pennies had to go.
Yeah, pennies had to go. So no, they really did.
I mean it. Yeah, they stopped printing them.
No,
minting them.
They still printed them. They just stopped using them out of copper. the bronze that they made them
Sure,
out of.
okay.
They stopped using the copper.
Thank you.
Because, of course, copper was used for two very important things in the war, which were bullets and communication wires.
The wire, yeah.
From Pearl Harbor on, we made 47 billion rounds of ammunition before the ending of the war.
Whoa.
47 billion bullets.
That's a lot of copper.
And then 11 million tons of artillery ammunition, which was, of course, also jacketed in copper. Those big bullets coming out of the big cannons.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so the U.S. Mint, they recycle about 8 billion pennies a year. And in order to save that copy for making ammunition, we stopped making them out of the copper and bronze, like you said, in 1943.
Okay.
And started making them out of nickel and zinc. Just for that 1 year, because, of course, the war ended in 44, and then...
So you know what that means.
We can go right back to making pennies the way they're supposed to be made. But in that entire year of 43... they were all nickel. There was literally no prints of copper or bronze ones at all, except for one single sheet of copper and bronze stamp metal. You know, the big sheet metal that I'm sure everyone's seen, like how stuff is made and at the mint factory. But that sheet there was one sheet left of bronze copper in there, and so the run that came out for 1943, it was 900 million pennies or something like that they made that year. They that one little sheet, 40 pennies, was all that was made out of that one sheet.
Okay.
They were made out of copper. And so I had heard this story before, so this wasn't something new that I came up with.
The copper penny?
The copper penny from 1943. But of course there's 900 million in circulation of the silver ones. They're not really worth anything if you find one. They're kind of cool. Because you're like, whoa, this is weird. I've never had a silver penny before, but...
You think it's Canadian, but it's not.
You think it's Canadian.
Yeah.
But what happened was, in 1943, after they circulated those out, they weren't able to catch them out of the machine. So those 40 whatever pennies, it's estimated about 40.
I'm sure that you can't get 40 out of the 900 million.
Yeah. They just let them go.
Yeah.
And so 3 years later, my man... His name was Don Lutz. It was in 1947. He went to high school in Massachusetts.
Lutz,
it's Lutz. Is that Lutz?
I don't know if it's LS. We'll go Lutz. If it was a Z, it would be Lutz.
Yeah, it's Lutz.
ES.
He's also a junior.
Okay, it's Lutz.
It's Lutz. Don Lutz.
All right.
Junior. Junior. But he was buying lunch at his school cafeteria.
Where?
I didn't catch the high school.
Okay.
Massachusetts.
Okay, somewhere in Massachusetts.
So what he noticed, because he actually was a coin collector, oddly enough, but that was kind of a common hobby.
Numismatist?
Numismatist is correct. I was going to use that word later, but Numismatist.
Okay, Numismatist. What'd you say about my tits? don't you talk about my tits?
I didn't miss it. It's right there.
Yeah, they're right here.
So he noticed that penny was a little odd because he was like, because this was only 3 years after the war. Everyone at that time knew that all of 1943 pennies were silver, right?
Sure.
Like you see a new penny all the time, and then if you notice that there's some that are silver, everybody's seen one,
right?
Especially when there's almost 1 billion of them in circulation. So, anyways, he happens to know that that's what 43 pennies are supposed to look like, and he gets the change back from the cafeteria lady, and he just, as being a little mild coin collector, is like, this one's weird. Like, it's a 43, but it's copper. Like, he thinks it's fake, but it's interesting. So he just puts it in his coin collection, and, years go by. And he eventually gets to the point where he talks to, like, the U.S. Mint about it, and they actually just claim that it's fake, and they don't know what he's talking about, and that it's impossible. And, but, of course, it's not. But, of course, then he comes forward with it, and they're like, oh, my God, this is totally real, but it must have been an extra sheet that was at the beginning. And so they estimated there's only about 40 of them out there, 19 of which have been found, just before we get too further in the story. So there's still some out there. But anyway, so this old man, or as he is an old man now, he actually passed away this past September. He decided, because he had no immediate family that he could hand this coin collection down to, but he wanted to put it up for auction to sell. And when he called and actually got some people involved in estimating the price value of it, what do you think that this rare penny goes for on the retail market?
You said he died last year?
He died this past September, but it didn't get sold until recently.
Okay.
But he had a plan.
And we're talking about a 43 copper penny?
43 copper penny.
$25 million.
Oh, wow. Your brain went way higher than I expected.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's not a whole lot of currency out there that's worth $25 million.
It was the first number. I closed my eyes and I saw $25 million.
That might be like an actual gold.
$75,000.
It was actually they estimated it $170,000.
Okay.
Was the estimate of what they were expecting to get for it if you were to actually try and sell it. Again, only 19 of these things have ever even been discovered. The American Numismatistic Society actually says that this is the rarest.
Numismatist, excuse me. Numismatist, because you missed my tits.
Numismatist. But they say that this is the like the coup de grace, like whatever you want to call it, of like screwed up currency that's out there. Like it's the hottest thing. If you ever get a hold of one of these, you're holding like the holy grail of screwed up money,
like misminted money.
Right. Because that's a thing people collect is like money that has an error. Like from certain time, like there's.
You know what one penny said to the other penny?
What?
Let's get together and make some sense.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You know what though? But that joke can't make sense because a penny is not actually U.S. currency. That is a British unit of currency, and pennies don't exist in the United States. So there's your fun fact there.
I don't understand what any of that means.
No, like a cent is what we would a U.S. currency. $0.01 is a cent.
Okay.
A penny is 0.01 of a pound, like a British pound.
So you're saying I don't understand this because this is about to become
lingo,
an argument.
It's just the lingo that we use.
You're telling me we don't call it a penny?
Right. It's called a 1 cent piece. Is technically what it is. A penny is British slang that we've adopted because we came from Britain, but we made the similar piece of money because we are used to it and called it. People just nickname it a penny.
But that's not what its technical name is.
It's a 1 cent piece.
And then a nickel is not a nickel.
It's a nickel, a quarter, dime.
Bullshit.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I guess.
There's no way they would call a nickel and a penny a 1 cent piece. Why wouldn't they call it a 5 cent piece and a 25 cent piece and a 10 cent piece?
I don't know. Like, I could be wrong.
But
I'm pretty certain that 0.01 is.
You want to die on that hill?
So basically, what all this boils down to is the man passed away, and his good friend ended up selling the coin for him and following through with his plans, which were to donate it to his favorite library that he spent most of his time in his later years.
So they can put it on display or something?
No, like sell it to donate money to the library.
Okay.
So it goes on to auction, like 30 people bid on it, and they get $204,000 for this penny.
Sheesh.
$204,000 for a penny. A penny.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But I mean, 19 out of 900 million, I guess.
So I said 25 million. So that was
well, I like that. That's high.
I blacked out for a second when I said that.
But so I tell this story because I actually knew well about the 43 penny, like as a young person, like because I was just kind of semi-interested in rare coins.
Okay.
But so one day I'm like digging through the penny jar, and and whenever you see an old penny, I'm sure your eyes can spot them too. When you're like, if there's a dump change out and you see an old coin in there, it's easy to spot.
Sure.
So spotted one. And I was like, hey, what's that one? And I pick it up, and it says 1943 on it. And I was like, my eyes got like real big, and I like was like, oh my god, like is this like what I think it is? I mean, it was brown, like it was like dirty, but it looked brown, like it was copper, the whole 9 yards. And I was like, oh my god, like I like literally was having a heart attack, and you know how pennies get stickiness on them, like the corrosion and stuff like that. And There's always, whenever you dump out a jar of change, there's always the goo in there. So I took it to the sink to like clean the goo off. And as I was rubbing it, I was like, it started to get more and more silver and more and more silver. And I was just like, oh, pure defeat. But,
damn it.
But dude, like
that was just grind.
I had a moment for a second there where I was like, oh my God, did I seriously just find like one of the 43 pennies that's out there? Like, it was a moment where I was freaking out.
That would have been nice.
I thought I did. I really thought I did there for a second.
And how old were you?
Like 15.
Oh man, talk about a moment.
Oh yeah,
that'd have been awesome.
It was insane.
I remember as a kid legitimately going like panning for gold, like in streams and stuff. Watching the movie The Ballad of Buster Scruggs on Netflix.
Dude, the one with Liam Neeson is weird.
Very dark.
Weird.
It's so dark, dude. It's crazy because he doesn't say a word in it, does he?
Liam Neeson?
Yeah.
Like brief, like hardly any words.
And yeah, it's like a struggle of a father would do anything for his child, and then all of a sudden gets sick of it one day because he realizes he can make money on something else. Like that.
Is he his son?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't think he was his son.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was his son.
I didn't actually pick up on that detail. I just because what isn't that section called the money ticket?
See, the thing was, I paused the movie so that the show so that I could read the pages.
I didn't
on a couple of them because the pages actually tell information about the story.
I was just too
the Coen brothers are brilliant. Like it's really good. But you saw the one about the gold digger? Mm. Did you see that one? Like at the end where the old man goes into that thing and he's digging for gold, and then somebody shoots him in the back when he finds the gold.
Yeah.
So it made me think of, as a little kid, growing up in Kansas, you noticed hills. You know,
yeah.
Like it's just they kind of stood out. So up in the hills, we would there was this hill by our house that we would go like hiking, exploring in and stuff.
Right.
And it had this little like creek thing kind of running through it. And I remember as a kid like going up there with a shovel, a bucket, and then like a sifter, and digging up dirt and then putting in my thing and then getting in the water and then sifting through it and seeing if I could find any gold.
I mean, it doesn't take that much gold to actually have some dollars on your hand.
Yeah, I know. But that type of shit's fun. I'm actually, now that I have a creek at my house, we're gonna pan for some gold in our house just to see. See if we can find like I don't know, something that would make the kids go, wow.
Maybe some broken bottle glass.
Yeah, maybe some hypodermic needles.
Maybe.
A ballooned bag of crack or something.
No, they'd come back for that.
Yeah, true.
No crackheads throwing that out the window and then not coming back for it.
True. Yeah, so I mean, coin collecting's crazy, man. Is that all?
That was the end of the story. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. I mean, it was cool that guy, like, he ended up just deciding he wanted to donate that coin to his favorite library via the cash that he could sell at auction.
I mean, he collected it his whole life. You know what I mean?
And he got it naturally. Yeah. He got it naturally. That's what's crazy. Like that Numismatist society. Mm-hmm. They, I mean, like those people like buy, sell, trade, and like deal in this stuff. Oh. Like, they would somebody bought this for $200,000.
There's like a Youmissedmytits con. Yeah. There's definitely these people.
Somebody bought it for that much. So I'm sure somebody down the road is going to buy it for a little more. Maybe somebody's going to take a hit on it later. But the point is that thing is in circulation now, and it's like it's a commodity. He picked it up because he got it back from the cafeteria lady as change, and he put it in his pocket and took it home with him. It was like, this is really neat.
Have some more sloppy joes. Made them extra sloppy for you.
On that note, so subscribe to this video.
Yeah, we are not doing a solid enough job of promoting our YouTube part of our experience.
So if you're in podcast land and you're not watching the video, you need to get on board, sir or ma'am.
Podcast information. First of all, the types of things we talk about on our podcast are incredible. Like, I mean, I want to bust out a story about how Spotify just spent $20 billion to buy these podcasting services because they want to be the Netflix of podcasts. Can you believe that? Did you hear me? The Netflix of podcasts, like the future of podcasting in the United States is what it's going to be and has been in China for the last 5 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. We have an episode on our show, The Big Red Van, Have You Heard, where I talk about how it's a $7 billion market in China versus a $350 million market in the United States. And when Spotify is going to start to get involved with that, we're going to be a subscription-based industry very soon, I think.
Well, you know what? Spotify needs to email me back about our podcast feed. So for all you people that use Spotify and don't have us in your feed on your Spotify app, I'm sorry, you can blame Spotify.
It's not our fault.
Google's great. Apple's great. You're welcome.
Yeah, go to Apple. I mean, Team Apple Music anyway, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, our show, have you heard? We talk about silly stuff. We talk about cool stuff. I'm going to be the business guy. He's going to be the information guy. And then we try to be funny. Rarely succeed. But we need to get people watching this side of it. So tell your friends. Tell your mama. Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at The Big Red Van Pod. It's the same on all of them.
Yeah, all of them. All the social medias.
And, so
that's all the pluggables we got to plug. And I appreciate you watching, appreciate you listening, and we're going to catch you on the next one.